And we seem to be live, but let me check the sound. There we go. All right, we're live. Welcome to Hollywoke Hot Take Live. The little pregame with Little Joan here. Right, Little Joan? Right? You gonna stay for the show or you're gonna bail already? You're gonna bail already. All right. Welcome to the live stream. A couple minutes early, where we do it live. Carter Jane is here. F it, we'll do it live, he says. Arden is here. Hail. Nice to see you guys here. Welcome. What did I do this week? Not much. It's sort of winding down. The year's winding down. I had one event Saturday at the Williamstown Middle School. And let me tell you, it went pretty spectacularly, I gotta say. I did pretty darn good. I sold a bunch of books there. Had a great time. Got free bagels. What could be better? For a show that was only, let's see, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, it was only a 4-hour show. LeMay is here. Hi. Welcome. So that was about it. I'm working on book 17. I'm enduring the cold weather. Right, Little Joan? It's freezing outside. It's freezing. But weirdly enough, on Thursday, I'm doing another event. And it's supposed to be like 61 degrees, but it's going to pour, I think. Ardent, I made some amazing pork chops for supper today. Personal point of pride in my cooking. Ooh. Now, did you put them on the grill? Did you fry them, or how'd you make them? That sounds delicious. Tonight, I had a delicious dinner at my brother's place. And my sister-in-law cooked, and she's a very good cook. She cooked a tenderloin. Oh, my goodness. So tender it was. What else did she make? She made lasagna. That was delicious. She made a Caesar salad. And there was some asparagus, but I don't like asparagus, so I skipped that. And then lots of desserts. It was my nephew's birthday. And we had an ice cream cake for him. Ardent, marinated and fried with onions and pommes frites and black olives. Can't say I like the black olives, but the rest of it sounds great. The rest of it sounds delish. One thing that my sister-in-law makes, dessert-wise, that I really like, is she makes, you know how you have the Rice Krispie treats? She does the same thing, but she makes little Christmas wreaths by taking cornflakes, dyeing them green, and then putting them in the Rice Krispies, sticky, melted marshmallow, and it makes a little wreath out of it. It's really good. Carter Chain, I ended up having a drink with Matt Gaetz. No way. And met Steve Bannon in one night last Tuesday. That's what I've been up to. Wow. How did that come about? Where were you? Were you at Mar-a-Lago? Ardent, pommes frites is just a fancy-ass speak for potatoes. I know. They're delicious. Ardent, served on black rye with spicy cheddar. Interesting. You know me, I could always talk about food. I had a patty melt. My girlfriend made me patty melts the other day. She accidentally bought Swiss cheese by mistake, and she's like, what the hell am I supposed to use this for? I said, the only thing I could think on Swiss cheese is patty melts. So she says, I'm making patty melts. Get rid of this cheese. And I didn't even have Swiss cheese on mine, but because I don't like Swiss cheese either. The patty melts were pretty good. Carter, I was at some DC Christmas parties. Wow. Carter's like fancy. How did you get there, Carter? Are you in government? Carter Chain, but the highlight of my week was the Sunday roast I made today. Ooh. A lot of food talk going on this week. Swiss is good with, I always pronounce this wrong. I'm going to say gabagool, but capicola. Yeah, I'm a bad Italian because I can't pronounce that word. Joan, you got stuff on your eyes. How do you get so much dirt in your face, Joan? It's because you're your fur is so white and you can just see it, I guess. You stick your face in the dirt. Ardent, he's a Fed, run for it. Capicola, says Ardent. Carter, if it's a melt, for me it has to be a tuna melt. Ooh, I don't like warm tuna, generally speaking. I like my tuna very chill. Either a tuna fish sandwich with mayo or raw on sushi. Delicious, yummy sushi. Ardent, LOL, never heard tea said in Italian, so I'm guessing. Never heard it said in Italian, so I'm guessing. Carter Chain at Ardent, not yet. Oh boy, now we're gonna have our lines to the federales through Carter. Finally, I'm connected. Finally, I'm connected, doggy. I'm gonna be wielding power. Don't stand in my way. I'm connected. I know people. I know Carter Chain. Ardent at Carter Chain. LOL. MK Ultra trainee. Yeah. I think they wanted Luigi. I think they told Luigi Mangione that he was joining the feds, and look what happened to him. Who knows what they told those guys? Some of these guys, they're a little wacky. Well, they're all wacky, I guess. But some are wackier than others. The guy they popped on the roof that tried to take out Trump, that guy, some strange stuff behind the scenes with him that don't quite add up for me, but who knows? We'll find out like 20 years later. But anywho, Carter, are you going to tell us any secrets that Matt Gaetz and Steve Bannon told you? I hope you'll tell us. And it better not be Trump's going to win the election. We already know that. Indie Phantom is here. Disney needs to pay up. That is true. Carter Chain, the Commission on Fine Arts has some real swing in Washington. It does? How? And why aren't I on it? Why aren't my books considered fine art? I mean, look at the art on the Pineys. You just can't beat that cover. That is the Atco Ghost. He is on Burnt Mill Road. If you go there, flash your headlights 3 times and put your car keys on the roof, he appears. No idea. Here I thought it was APAC and the AARP. It turns out it was all along the fine arts. Are these the people who keep sending us to war? Are we starting these wars over art? That make a lot of sense in some ways. But yeah, let's get into the movies. Carter Chain. The fine arts is a joke, but it is a real government department. LOL. Interesting. Ardent. Fine art. Yeah. The scumbag elites love to feel like they're around the fancy people. LOL. Well, you know, Hunter Biden is an artist. He tried to paint a painting made of his own poo and pay his rent with it in Malibu. That is 100% true, I hear. All right, let's get into the numbers. Speaking of fine art, I mean, look at this. Look at this lineup. It's crazy. For the 3rd week in a row, Moana 2, not Moana 1, Moana 2, is the #1 movie in America. I guess it's just going to be the #1 movie closing 2024. LeMay, how can I get in? I want easy money? You put the I think you put the question mark in the wrong spot. Yeah, you gotta look out for that, LeMay, if you want to get in government. Ardent at Carter Chain. LOL. Speaking of art, anyone seen the nose picker sculpture I featured on my show today? Sickening. Oh God, no. Indie Phantom. Moana starting to flail. I don't know. It's still the #1 movie. It only dropped by 48%, and it still did $26 million. Plenty of regular movies don't do $26 million on their opening week. So, Carter at LeMay, work for a presidential campaign. Yeah, there you go. But looks like Moana is cruising. Cruising. We're at 717 million. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. Let's see. Next week will probably be like 14, and then the week after 7, that's 21. Yeah, you probably crack 800. Probably crack 800, but I don't think you're going past $1 billion. Is this going to be like Oppenheimer? They're just going to keep it in the theaters, trying to push it over the top. So I hear it's not even that good, but this is, again, people just want to take their kids to something. People just want to get out of the house and have their kids not pay attention to them for 2 hours. Oh, thank God they're not asking me questions. Oh, thank God. Oh, they're eating popcorn and they're ignoring me. Oh, I could finally take a nap. Says the guy who doesn't have any kids. I've seen people with kids. I know. Number 2 for the, I don't know, this is like the 3rd week in a row at number 2, is Wicked. Indie Phantom, send the Moana proceeds directly to POTUS. 22.5 million. In its 4th week. That's still pretty good too. I can't believe there are that many theater majors in the United States. It's doing pretty well here. Not doing that well on international box office, though. Apparently not enough theater majors around the world. Ardent, they're already doing a Moana live action? Ugh. Yes, they are. I guess that's going to be a rehash of the first one. So I assume it's going to do. At first I thought, oh, this movie's going to tank. Now I think like, oh my God, this movie's probably going to be a major blockbuster with Dwayne Johnson. So I hope they don't let him sing. I don't think The Rock can sing. Now, number 3 is where it gets uber interesting. Kraven the Hunter premieres at $11 million. And that's the end of that. So finally, and it did 15 million overseas, and these are awfully round numbers. I think those are estimates. Carter, Tony, did you see Ben Shapiro's review of Wicked? His drama geeked out. He drama geeked out. Oh, no, I did not. I didn't know Ben Shapiro was gay. Huh. I guess his Dr. Wife is just a beard all this time. Do we have a budget on this thing? No. No, we don't. But I bet it costs more than $26 million. Ardent, excuse me. It's Kraven time. LeMay. Little kids love Moana. Both girls and boys enjoy it. Yeah, I imagine they do. I don't know. I can't imagine myself going to see a movie like Moana. I'd have to be under 6. I guess that's the crowd. I mean, after 6, I started getting into cool stuff. You know? Like, I don't know, fire trucks and dinosaurs and stuff. Moana, I just would have been like, huh? Indie Phantom, Kraven has a wonky rhino. I saw that clip. Yeah, they do show the rhino in this, or he's in it. I'm not sure why. Carter Chain, Morbius or Kraven? Oh boy, I don't know. My friend saw Morbius. He said it was unbelievably bad. Kraven, I'll say, has Russell Crowe in it. So there's that. And the lead guy's not a bad actor. I mean, that's Kick-Ass, right? Isn't that Kick-Ass? Isn't he Kraven? Or am I confusing him with another actor? Yeah. I think that's him, right? That's Kick-Ass. Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's in the Kingsman. The Kingsman. The Kingsman. Yeah, he's in Kick-Ass. He is Kick-Ass. He's in Captain America, too. Oh, right. He was Pietro Maximoff. Ardent, they probably wanted to prove they could do a good Rhino after wasting Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti should not have been the Rhino. Paul Giamatti for a Spider-Man villain? Maybe the Scorpion. Maybe. But, like, he's not a physical actor, action guy. He shouldn't be in movies like that, where he has to, like maybe J. Jonah Jameson. He could have been him. He's angry. He can do angry. As a Rhino? No, you need... Dave Bautista could have been the Rhino. As bad as I think he is as an actor. Ardent, he was one of the Quicksilvers. Kite is here. Hello, Kite. Good to see you. Yeah, Kraven the Hunter was just a bad idea all around. Kick-Ass can't save it. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Ardent, Giamatti might have been a good Penguin in DC. Maybe Arcade for the X-Men. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Arcade wasn't that angry, but, definitely that would be better, closer than the Rhino. I mean, the Rhino's just... When I think of the Rhino, I do not think of an actor like Paul Giamatti. Come on. Tombstone, but he's too short for it. He'd have the right personality. Giamatti could be one of the, regular crime characters. A guy who's just angry and not the Kingpin, but one of the other crime family guys. But not the Rhino. No. You need a guy like Dave Bautista before his muscles deflated. Or, a guy like that should be the Rhino. Ardent, I actually enjoyed Morbius and Venom 1. Looking forward to seeing how they do Kraven, says Ardent. Giamatti could do sleazy lawyer. Yeah. He's good at those roles. Giamatti should really be in comedies. And unfortunately, his career started to come up just at the moment that Hollywood's like, oh, we can't do comedies. People on Twitter will be mad at us. Oh, no. Some pink hair from Minnesota will yell at me. We can't do that movie. Oh, no. Jokes. Oh, no. Comedy, please. Please don't hurt us. We're only worth billions of dollars. We have no resistance to random people on the internet. Oh, no. Zevix Demise is here. Everybody's here today. Good evening, Tony. Any devils flying over your house this weekend? No. I'm in South Jersey. Apparently, none of the drones really came south of 95 or 195. Although I think it was the sheriff in Ocean County that followed one of the drones with his department's drone, and then maybe took a shot at it or saw somebody take a shot at it. That no one shot down one of these drones, I find also kind of suspicious. But JC, I thought Kraven had already came and went. Nope, it's here this weekend, and it's not doing well at $11 million. Indie Phantom, they killed a genre over woke. They've killed many genres over woke. But yeah, comedy is definitely everybody's afraid to do comedies, and all the comedians are doing anything but comedy. Look at Kevin Hart's career. Ardent, Giamatti starred in an adaptation of Mordecai Richler book, and the name escapes me. He did a great job in it. Didn't he play one of the John Adams too? He was John Adams in that mini series. He's very good in that. Carter Chain, no one likes South Jersey, not even the drones and aliens. Hey, 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 hey. They're afraid because we have guns down here. Yeah, we have guns. There's plenty of guns in South Jersey. There's plenty of guns in North Jersey too, but they're illegal. And they tend to be, pointed at other gang members. Down in South Jersey, we have our own version of hillbillies called the Pineys. And those guys know how to shoot. Ardent, there's a drone problem in Jersey. Set the devil loose on them. I'm surprised the devil hasn't pulled some of the drones out of the sky. But again, they haven't gotten this far down. JC, I saw one of the news clips where the reporter was like, these things, whatever they are, they're not planes. Then proceeds to show a picture of a plane flying at night. Yeah, they're blowing it out of proportion for sure. To what end, I'm not quite sure. There was a rumor that there's some law coming up for renewal, that this is meant to scare us so they can renew this law without any problems because it's very Orwellian. I'm not sure what law would apply to this. Might have something to do with, where drones are flown or whatever. What I do know is those drones are probably not foreign drones, unless the Biden administration is really out to lunch. And they are definitely not aliens, so they are probably from the Pentagon. They're not commercial drones, no way. I would not believe that. Ardent, LOL. JC, effing stupid psyop. Yeah, basically. LeMay, my coworker's from Jersey, but she is from the ritzy part. The ritzy part. I think she might not be from New Jersey. There is no Ritz in South. There is no Ritz in New Jersey. There's no ritzy part. Well, Haddonfield, maybe. But yeah, I haven't seen a drone. So, and if you were doing something sneaky, if they were foreign drones, why would they put the lights on? You wouldn't put the lights on if you were trying to fly over here and assassinate somebody or poison the water supply or something. So it doesn't make any sense. Ardent, right before I came to the stream, I was watching Jason Cohn, No White Guilt stream. He was talking about the drones. I don't know. So far, no one I've heard has any real insight other than, the drones are up there. Sorry, John, I'm going to get you back in the shot. The drones are up there, and nobody quite knows what's going on. Carter Chain at LeMay. That's a weird way to say New York. LeMay, LOL. Oh, New York. You don't want to live in New York. New Jersey has its problems, but my God, New York? Huh. Try getting out of a ticket in New York. Good luck. It's bad. Zivic's demise. Maybe they put the lights on to make you think they are domestic. But most of them fly under the radar anyway. If you know anything about flying a drone, you could certainly keep them. I forget what the distance is to stay under the radar. What is it? Under 500 feet or something? You could certainly do that coming in from the ocean, and nobody would know they're there. And then if they don't have any lights on them, then you could do what you want. Nobody would even know. So, Ardent, it's the Canadians getting ready to drop radioactive maple syrup bioweapons. I knew it. Don't worry. We are going to develop our own weapons against the Canadians. They are squirrels, bionic squirrels. I'm going to set them loose to capture your maple trees, and then no more syrup for you. Indie Phantom, don't worry about the drones. Biden is monitoring the situation. Ardent, and they'll blame Vermont. JC, I demand higher quality of PSYOPs. I'm glad Trump is shutting down the FBI. What is this S? Yeah, exactly. Zevic's demise. Our secret is out. Yeah. See, when they killed Peanut, they actually took his body to a secret laboratory where they're going to make him better, stronger, faster than he was. He'll be back. He'll be back. Ardent bionic squirrels sounds crunchy. Yeah, so Kraven the Hunter just was a bad idea. It's not a interesting enough character to sustain its own movie. Maybe if you had introduced him in the Spider-Man movies and really had an interesting origin, people would be like, oh yeah, I'd go see a movie with him. But no. Indie Phantom, Canadian Bacon sucked. F. Michael Moore. Well, that's a bit of a late review, but I'll allow it. 26 days and this nonsense all ends, says JEC. LeMay, how is Montclair? Like most of North Jersey, it's full of Taylor ham-eating idiots. That is way up north to me. I don't like Montclair, personally. It's a little too busy for me. And the Montclair bookstore canceled my book signing with, well, I'll say I don't so. And I never really got an answer. So, F Montclair. But Kraven the Hunter, I mean, why do this? Why do this? Where's the fan base for this? It would have been in the fan base for Spider-Man. Had you introduced him in Spider-Man and then spun off this movie at least, and then with the intent of spinning him back into the Spider-Man movies, okay, then we would have to watch it, right? You watch the first movie, let's say he would have been Mysterio's henchman. And at the end of the movie, you realize maybe he helped Mysterio die at the end, maybe sabotaged him. And now Kraven is going to be the guy in charge of his international organization. But first, he's got some business to take care of, and that's what we're going to find out in this movie. And then he's going to get some sort of magic amulet that's going to defeat Spider-Man or whatever. Ardent, oh, well, F them then. Yeah, it was a shame. I set that up for months. I was promoting it, and then like I don't know, 2 weeks before or something, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not doing that." Like, what? Okay. It's only happened that one time, really. There's another one that canceled, but I think they told me they were going to reschedule. Like two others this year canceled, but it's more of a scheduling conflict than anything else. But Montclair was I still don't really know why. Indie Phantom, Sony at least saying that this is the end of their crap Marvel run. Yeah, I mean, listen to the ideas they had that didn't get made into movies. So besides Mobius and Kraven and Venom, you know, again, no Spider-Man in any of them. They also had the Hypno Hustler in the works for Donald Glover to star in. I mean, you want to talk about obscure. The Hypno Hustler. There was rumors of Black Cat at some point. And, oh gosh, there was one other. Oh yeah, it was the wrestler from the first Spider-Man issue, the wrestler that Peter Parker wrestles in, I think his name's the Tarantula, I want to say. But he wrestles them in, like, the first story where he becomes Spider-Man. You know, he wrestles them and beats them because he's a little skinny guy, and the wrestler's this big guy, and he humiliates him. They were going to do a spin-off movie with him because they had some actor who they thought was good for it. I mean, just the dumbest effing ideas and imaginable. Although I will say, at least I think the Tarantula was a sidekick of, or maybe I'm confusing him with another superhero. But there was a superhero called the Tarantula who did fight with Spider-Man for a while. Filbert Coffee Esquire. Oh my, very important. Montclair is super libtarded. That's why. Excellent comment, Phil. Ardent. The Hypno what? The Hypno Hustler. He's an old-time villain of Spider-Man's. JC, I mean, I would love a Bonesaw movie if Macho Man was still alive. Oh, boy. Yeah, I miss Macho Man. Snap into a Slim Jim. Tombstone. He would have been a good spin-off guy. You could have done like a Penguin-esque mafia thing with him. Who else? Black Cat is probably, out of all the characters in Spider-Man, she would be at the top of the list because she can be a good guy and essentially is a good guy. But she's so close to Catwoman, and the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry bombed so badly, I think they're petrified of making anything close to another Catwoman movie. And really, if you developed a Black Cat movie with Sydney Sweeney, I think people would go see it. You could put her in super tight outfits. She could be like overtly sexy towards Spider-Man. But really, you need Spider-Man in the damn movie. This is the problem with Hollywood. They just don't get it. We're not really in it to see anybody else other than Spider-Man. You could try spinning off all the characters you want, but Spider-Man's the character we want to see. So, but they don't want to, I don't know, they don't want to do that. But they should. They should make Spider-Man, I mean, they made Spider-Man do a cameo in Civil War, right? And that was great. Everybody loved it. He wasn't the main character. It was like 1 million characters in it. But everybody was freaking out when he showed up. So, why not put a bunch of the Spider-Man characters in a movie? Do the Sinister Six. And then you could do a spin-off. And you'd get an idea of which characters are really hot. You know? Like, you might be able to do a Vulture movie only because Michael Keaton's the star and he's a big star. I mean, but if you did a Sinister Six movie, you know, people would go bananas. But Spider-Man has to be in it. JC, Venom and Carnage are the only spin-off characters there's an actual fan base for. And I would say that Venom and Carnage still don't have a big enough fan base. You know, the Venom movie did surprisingly well, but I mean, from a creative standpoint, I think it's dumb. Unless, again, you would introduce them in the Spider-Man movie, give them some sort of mission at the end of it. I mean, what they could have done is they could have done Secret Wars and introduced Venom as he was introduced. Venom shows up in Secret Wars. So here's the origin of Venom, for those of you who don't know, really quick. Peter Parker's in the Secret Wars as Spider-Man. And in the middle of the Secret Wars, his Spider-Man costume's ripped to hell. And the other characters go into some room. They're on this alien planet. And they all repair their costumes in some way. Spider-Man goes off on his own, finds this machine, and puts his hand underneath it, and a black blobule lands on his hand, and then starts covering his hand and his arm, and eats away at his costume until it completely covers him in a new costume. And that is the Venom symbiote, but he doesn't know it yet. So, during Secret Wars and then shortly after, Spider-Man had this black suit, and then it turns against him, and he has to try to kill it, and then after he kills it, it finds Eddie Brock to get revenge. And that's the origin of Venom. Now, how cool would that be? JC, Venom made money. It was pure fluff, but there was a fan base who wanted a Venom movie. Yeah. I think if you had done an epic Spider-Man story with the Venom character, I think it would have been a lot better. But I don't even know who they're going to use in the Spider-Man movie. Who's left? What do we got left? Scorpion. You know, you could redo a bunch of the villains you've already screwed up, but there's not many left. You're just going to recast them? I guess. So, anyhow, I think the next Spider-Man movie's in danger. I really don't have a good vibe about it because they kind of hit the reset button, and I think that was an excuse to make Spider-Man woke. I don't quote me on it. But that is what I suspect. They're finally going to break the Spider-Man fans. It's like they've been sitting up in the Disney offices going, finally, we've convinced Sony to ruin Spider-Man. But we'll see. Maybe they won't. JC, they effed up Venom in Spider-Man 3. They need to do something completely different. Well, doing the actual origin of Spider-Man would be, Venom and Spider-Man would be completely different, but they won't do it. They never should have added Venom. Venom was completely superfluous in the third Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. I mean, I didn't even know why he was in there. I don't know why you would cast Topher Grace as Eddie Brock. Totally wrong for it. Tom Hardy is at least, grizzled enough to pull it off. But Topher Grace? No. No, I would never have cast him. I'd cast him as Peter Parker. He's more Peter Parker than he is Eddie Brock. Anyhow. Who cares? It's over. Sony has finally gotten the message. Just because you own an IP doesn't mean it'll make a good movie. Maybe a good TV show. I mean, it worked with the Penguin, although I kind of hate the last Penguin episode, but anyway, dropping from 3 to 4 is Gladiator 2, $7.8 million. So I guess we're going to get a Gladiator 3 because this movie did reasonably well. $398 million. Yeah, overseas they like it. So that's probably money. Probably enough to do a third one. JC, they're doing Secret Wars. They set up all the multiverse BS you can do the ultimate fan service movie. I think it's too late. Too confusing now to do it. Now you're going to go back and... Because, who's going to be Spider-Man? In Secret Wars. The Fantastic Four movie, they're going to be in a separate universe. I think it's over. I'm mostly done with it. I'm waiting to see if any of these movies... I mean, Captain America 4 is going to come out, and I think it's going to bomb hard. Really hard. And I think that's going to be the end for some people. Some people are going to go into that movie thinking, they made all this announcements. I think Marvel's going to turn it around. I'm going to go see Captain America 4. And then they're going to see it and they go, what the hell was that? I'm done. And you're just not going to get them back. They're just going to be like, nah, wait for streaming. I'll wait for streaming. Ardent at JEC, I think they're going more for the multiverse Secret Wars from about a decade ago so they can make Doom God and get rid of the multiverse. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. The magic is gone. And, they're bringing back Chris Evans. That's, unless they bring him back as the Beyonder, then I don't know why they're bringing him back. I guess they could bring him back as Cap. They're bringing back Haley Atwell. So, JC, pull in a different Peter from another universe. If anything, they'll F it up and swap Peter out for Miles. Oh, God. Yeah, they want to do that. I think they've been wanting to do that for a while. What they want to do is replace every character in the Marvel Universe, I think, and everyone in the DC Universe with characters they can re-own the copyrights. Some of them are expiring, some of them are on their way to expiring, and they're desperately trying to establish new characters. It's a dumb move. They're just going to end up S in the bed and not making much money. Carter Chain. There was always going to be a day when Marvel stopped making movies. Yes. Unfortunately, that day should have been 4 years ago. Sam Rogers is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Sam. Welcome. Man, everybody's in. Great to have you all here. Finally, my channel is getting the adoration it deserves. By the way, since you're all here, don't forget to vote me up, because that helps the channel. All right, let's check. Movie number 5 is Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim, which I hear is woke Lord of the Rings again. $10.3 million. Not good. Not good. That's not going to make money. Sam Rogers, I don't care about Marvel or anything Disney does anymore. Yeah, that's my attitude. $10.3 million for a Lord of the Rings prequel, essentially. I don't think anybody cares about the War of Rohirrim. So, and it's a cartoon. That kind of kills it for some people. I have a friend who's a cinematographer. He refuses to see animated stuff. Like, he won't watch them. Ardent, movie pitch. Haley Atwell and Sydney Sweeney play a pair of bikini models who compete to win in a place in the Hawaiian tropic bus with Atwell, the more experienced den mother who loves her fellows. The War of Rohirrim, as per Gary over at Nerdrotic. Yeah, it just sounds woke. I'm not interested. Kite, not just woke, it S on the lore more than the Rings of Power. Oh my God, really? However, continues Kite, it'll make more money than Rings of Power because animation, especially amongst the younger generation. I don't know, 10.3 million, that's not a lot for an animated thing, because these things usually cost like $100 million to make, but we shall see. That is a poor premiere, and it's got nowhere to go but down. And the word of mouth is not good, so I think this movie will be lucky to crack 30 million. And that will not be money. That'll be a loss. Number 6, Red 1. I'm seeing more and more people buck the trend and say this movie is pretty watchable and funny. So, it's on Amazon, so I might actually watch it. I mean, I can. 4.4 million this week. Did 175 million, which is not money. It's still losing money. But when it's also product on the Amazon Prime list, kind of doesn't matter. It's basically break even for them. So, at least on the production. But amazingly, dropping from 6 to 7 is Interstellar. Interstellar, a movie that's over 10 years old, from Paramount, 3.3 million. So, I hate this movie. I hate Interstellar. God, I hate it. I don't hate it as much as Gravity, but I kind of hate it. Sam Rogers, making more money does not mean it pays the cost of production or producer. Yeah, that's true. But in the case of Red One, since it's a Amazon production, they make so much money at Amazon, you know, they essentially just write off the rest of it. Obviously, 200 million is just the production budget. It has nothing to do with, say, the advertising, which could have been a lot. There was a lot of big names in that movie. But, again, it may not have cost that much. That may be Amazon playing fast and loose with the books. But they did do some CGI in it, so maybe. Number 8, dropping from 5, Pushpa, The Rule, Part 2. This is a Hollywood production. It's in Telugu. That's a language in India. And it's in its second week, dropping 67%. Kind of doesn't matter. It's one of the biggest grossing movies in India. For some reason, we don't get the international box office of India on our summary here. Oh, no, we did. Finally, they put India. Yeah, India made $103 million. That's a lot in India. It's one of the biggest movies in India. So whatever it made here, 13 million is just gravy. Looks like it made 154 million in Australia. It made $1.5 million and $1.4 million in UK. Sam Rogers, sorry, I was still talking about the Lord of the Rings animation. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it'll make enough money to cover its production. But this Pushpa movie, it actually looks pretty crazy. I don't know. I kind of like Indian cinema because it's so over the top. I don't like the music, really. Some of the songs are okay, but a lot of them are like, oh, how long is this going on? I just zoom through them, but the action scenes in this look crazy. He smuggles sandalwood, the main character. I didn't know sandalwood was made in India, but I guess it is. And I guess smuggling it is big business in India. Who knew? So he's kind of a criminal, and he, he has to fight against other criminal elements, I guess, but he's a good guy. I don't know. I don't really understand it. But the Indians, man, when they do a movie, their stunts are crazy and over the top. It's entertaining, I'll tell you that. So at least they're trying. Like, India cinema to me is like the cinema that really, really tries to entertain. And Hollywood has just been resting on its laurels forever. So I really wish we could adopt the fine attitude, the work ethic of the Indian cinema people. I really think we need it here. But I don't know. And this is a sequel to the first Pushpa movie, which apparently came out during the pandemic, so the box office was a bit subdued. Number 9, moving up from 10, the best Christmas pageant ever, from Lionsgate, $1.3 million. This movie did pretty well, I think. 36 million. What was his budget? We don't know the budget, but I don't think this had a big budget. So it is a comedy, kind of like a light family comedy for Christmas. It looks fine. Judy Greer's in it. I like Judy Greer. She's funny. I think she can carry a movie, at least a family movie. Number 10 is Queer. $790,000. They're really pushing this movie hard for an Oscar, I think. This is the Daniel Craig movie adapting a William S. Burroughs story. I just don't think it has wide enough appeal. I mean, you can push it all you want, but there's just not enough people interested in seeing a gay romance set in the background of the 50s and I think Havana or somewhere like that. I just don't think there's enough of an audience for it. But, Hollywood, they're so happy they're doing this. Number 11 is Y2K, dropping 68%. Yeah, that's not good. Zebek's Demise sounds gay. Yeah, it is extremely gay. Y2K. I kind of want to see this movie, but it's more of a streaming thing. It sounds like it's okay, at least mildly amusing, at least worth it for the nostalgia points for some of it, and that it'll at least be mildly amusing. Rachel Zegler, I think, is finally cast correctly as the girlfriend. But I don't know. And then number 11 is Flo. This is that animated cat movie in its fourth week. Carter Chain, Y2K was stupid funny. I didn't regret the night out. Yeah, I could see that. Sam Rogers, growing up, 90% of the television I watched was American. I can see a future where that's not the case. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure other countries are... What? Another show about gay people, huh? Weird. Nah, I don't want to watch that. Click. I mean, pretty much that's the attitude here. Who the hell's watching TV? Flo looks like it only made 1.6 million. That does not sound good for that movie. Kite. I do have to bed as I have a psychiatrist appointment in the morning, but I'm thinking that something this upcoming week I'll be doing the short story, Tony. Oh, I look forward to it. Please send me a link. Good luck on your appointment. Hope it goes well. Kite. Quite possibly Wednesday or Friday. Ooh. And it'll be a Merry Christmas for me. Thank you. Kite will be reading one of my short stories from the Pineys on his channel. So if you got a link, Kite, you feel free to post it. But you may not have the link yet. I don't know. Ardent, you just described the entire reason for the CBC Gem app. Oh boy, more gay programming. I gotta think even people who are gay must be thinking, I am so sick of seeing gay people on TV. Click. Number 11, 12, 13, The Order, dropping 58%. Not doing very well. This is the Nicholas Hoult, Jude Law movie about racism, racist in the 70s. I mean, this doesn't look like it's doing well at all. Who the hell wants to see this? This is a TV movie at best. $365,000. Zepix Demines, cool. Ardent, cool. Venom, The Last Dance, still hanging on. Going out of theaters in its 8th week. $235,000. Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Spy, Assassin. Angel Studios, $229,000. In its 4th week. A Real Pain in its 7th week, $223,000. Anora bumped it up again, added more theaters, $215,000, $13 million, and it's in its 9th week. So that one's also hanging on. Ardent, LOL, nobody hates the queers like the gays. That is a joke, YouTube. I'm just reading the comment. Sam Rogers, goodbye, everyone. I'm going to go find some breakfast. Have a good day, Sam. Down under. Put a shrimp on the barbie for me. Kite, I will be able to directly link the book section after the stream is done. The highlight video. Or maybe even send it here to YouTube for you. Oh, good. I will let you know next Sunday if you don't catch it live. Thank you, Kite. All right. God, I'm so thirsty. Next up is Conclave. This is the Vatican movie. God, it's in its 8th week already. $150,000. Good riddance. Heretic. In its 6th week, $108,000. That's the Hugh Grant horror movie. Premiering at way down the list, September 5th. I think this is another version of the Munich thing. Yeah. I don't know how many movies they're going to make of that event, but 7 theaters, $89,000. The Wild Robot going out of theaters, $81,000. The Return from Bleecker Street, $79,000. Nickel Boys is in 2 theaters, premiering. This is from Amazon. I just saw the trailer to this, and I passed on doing a trailer analysis because I kind of don't know what this movie's about. I think it's just about life and seen through the eyes of a black kid, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it seems fine, but it seems kind of boring. It reminded me a little bit of Forrest Gump for some reason, possibly because somebody I know was watching it and I was kind of like tuning in and out of it. I don't know. It seems okay. I don't know who goes to see movies. I don't understand people going to see movies about just, right? Like, to me, it can't just be about life. It should be about an interesting life. That's why I like to go see gangster movies, because although gangsters are bad people, they tend to lead very interesting lives because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I don't want to see a movie about just some regular dude who did a bunch of regular stuff. Next up, All We Imagine as Light, $57,000. The End, $51,000. Oh, Canada, $49,000. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, that Iranian movie, $25,000. And Bad Shabbos, $16,000 in one theater. That puts us for the weekend at $87 million. So not a great weekend, not the worst weekend, but we're going back into the winter doldrums, and it's not even Christmas yet. Carter Jane, but the movies about life are thought-provoking. That's why people see them. I don't know what's thought-provoking about life that you could see every day. Like, to me, if I see a movie about life in New Jersey, so a Kevin Smith film, I just go, oh yeah, that's what happened. Like, that's why I don't want to see movies about news events that I followed when I was around to see them. I saw them, and okay, yeah, that's what happened, kind of, not really. I don't know. I don't find it thought-provoking. Unless something unusual happened to the person, then maybe. Or something, tragic. But, I don't know. I guess I just don't like drama. But, I'd rather see movies about fantastic things. Big things. Cool things. I want to see people conquer the world and defeat the bad guy or do a cool car stunt. Something. Entertain me. I don't want to hear about your divorce. It's boring. It's boring. Your kids are growing up, huh? Not good for you, but I don't want to hear about it in a movie. Give me something that happened. Go out and do something. Make something happen. You're writing a screenplay. You can make anything happen. What are you going to have happen? Oh, he gets up and has a sandwich. Anything could happen. That's the best you could do. A guy eats a sandwich, thinks about his life. That's the best you can do. You can do anything you want in the movie. Oh, he just, he goes down to the store and really thinks about life. All the things that can happen to him. He could get robbed. Aliens can arrive. No, none of that. Just goes down to the store and it's all about life. Ugh. You gotta have some cool stuff happen to you, I say. Anyhow, that's the weekend of December 13th. So next week, it's going to be the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, basically Christmas weekend. Zebek's Demise. Man draws himself a bath and gets in. Fine. Yeah. I mean, that was part of the problem. I watched The Joker 2, by the way. Ooh, excuse me. I watched Joker 2 and reviewed it, if you haven't seen my review. God, there was so many boring scenes in that movie. Scenes of taking the Joker in and out of his cell, going to and from the courtroom, talking about things, watching people walk through doorways. Holy crap, what a slow movie. And the only thing slower were the musical numbers. LeMay, superhero comic where most of the panels are the heroes sitting in a coffee shop. Yeah, just what I want to say. Oh, hey, Superman, I noticed you take cream in your coffee. Yeah, I like a little bit cream. What? Ardent. Sydney Sweeney could rob him for the aliens. Oh, I like that. Zevix. Demise. I watched the review. Thanks for taking one for the team. Yeah. Now I got to see Megalopolis because I kind of still want to see it, but I also kind of know it's going to be awful. But man, I didn't think the Joker 2 would be that bad. I thought the musical numbers would at least be cool. Sam Rogers. You don't want to see the adventures of Normal Man. You don't want to see him go buy milk and eggs. The movie starts with him struggling to find a parking spot to go buy the full cream milk. Oh my gosh, I don't think I'll be able to park near the store. Normal Man, rated PG. Not rated R. And the movie ends with him choosing to be a rebel and buy full cream milk. Ooh, I think I'll get full cream today. Credits. The end. No, Normal Man would be like, oh, I was going to go to the store. It's too late. I'll go tomorrow. That's Normal Man. I think I'll just stay home and watch TV. I got a little bit of milk left. I'll just drink that. Ardent, LOL, Florida Man would be a blockbuster by comparison. Oh, yeah, Florida Man. Florida Man, what are you doing? I'm taking meth and I'm wrestling alligators. Sam redacted all his messages. No, yours were fine, Sam. All right, moving on. Sam Rogers, using speech to text. All right, I thought I got it. All right, so I added a new tab this week for some of the entertainment news. If you haven't been there, it's called That Park Place. I think it refers to Disneyland. He's usually got some pretty good articles. Ardent at Sam Rogers. LOL, that is a challenge with Newfoundland accent. So let's check the headlines at That Park Place. Star Wars Skeleton Crew flops again. Fails to land in the top 10 streaming viewership charts for the second week. Possibly because one of the characters is revealed to have two mommies, everybody. I know how much you love that. Not sure why that's relevant to Star Wars, but there you go. Yeah, it's just like, I was talking about this in a trailer reaction today. I was looking at a horror movie. When you're doing horror, it's about the horror. When you're doing sci-fi, it's about the sci-fi. So can you do characters with two mommies? Sure. In fact, you could probably tie it in with science fiction by saying, oh, they use this super futuristic process by which they could have a baby, the two lesbians. Sure. I mean, that would at least be science fiction-y. But what's the movie about? If it's not really focused on the relationship between two lesbians and they're just side characters in a movie, you end up sort of taking away from the central nexus of the movie, which is supposed to be about aliens and robots and sci-fi. Because you're throwing something unusual into the mix for reasons that have nothing to do with moving the story forward. Movies and most stories are about moving it forward. You got to move it forward. If what you put in the screenplay doesn't move the story forward, you delete it. And if you look at it and says, well, I can't delete it because we need that message in there, well, then that's not about the story. It's about your message saying how great two mommies are. There's nothing wrong with a lesbian couple raising kids. I have neighbors who are a lesbian couple and they're raising two kids. They're perfectly fine people. I say hello to them. I like them. But that's not necessarily the best choice for characters in a TV show like Skeleton Crew, which is supposed to take place in the fantastical world of Star Wars, where things are supposed to happen in a quick pace and it's supposed to be about action adventures. You're not supposed to stop and examine a relationship between two women. You're just not. I mean, it's just not what the sci-fi genres for. It's not for that. Ardent two moms? How original. Lesbian clone baby? Could be sci-fi horror. It just is a distraction because the problem with Hollywood is everything's about the message. We gotta work the message in there. Work the message. So instead of, why do you have this in there? Well, it's very important. The cloning technology that the two lesbians use to create their son is used later in the episode to facilitate whatever, right? And that's why he has superpowers or whatever. Instead, the real answer is, well, there's two moms in it because we needed lesbian representation. No, you don't. If it doesn't move the story forward, it doesn't need to be in there. It just becomes a distraction. Lesbians aren't sitting around going, hey, I'd like to watch Star Wars, but there's not enough lesbians in it. No, they watch Star Wars because it's a good, the first three movies are good. The original trilogy is good. Everybody liked it. Nobody sat around and said, you know what? It's not enough Italian people in Star Wars. I can't watch it. I don't feel represented. No. People said, oh, it's a good movie? Oh, I'll go see it. And it was. Ardent, Pet Cemetery, but with lesbian clone babies. So there's no reason to force a bunch of essentially sexual politics into your TV show. Just keep it out. NBC News implies video game Among Us may have inspired United Healthcare CEO assassin. That, of course, makes zero sense and is absolutely not true in my view. But it's NBC News. I don't know anyone who watches NBC News anymore, except maybe some of my older relatives, but it's I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't trust if NBC News reported that Monday was going to follow Sunday. I mean, I just would be like, maybe. Who cares? Who cares what they say? I don't think people murder each other over video games. At least not in that way. The big news, for those of you who hadn't heard, Ardent OFF Saki, NBC, smarten the F up. Yes. Warner Brothers, Carter Chain? Ardent, for F's sake. Carter Chain, speaking of video games, is it possible for you to review the story of Indiana Jones game? I might. I could look at the trailer. I don't know, man. Indiana Jones is another IP they pretty much killed. I think the number one reason it isn't doing well, and it doesn't seem to be doing well, is the movie. The last movie killed the franchise. There's no reason to go see it. Why go see it? Why go see a movie that takes place in the heyday of Indiana Jones because it becomes a broken old man that gets outshined by what's-her-face, the chick from Fleabag? There's no reason to go see it. Or play it. What's up, Joan? I hear you moaning over here. You're back in the driver's seat. There you go. So I'll see what I could do, Carter. I'll look into it. But the big news this week, Warner Brothers canceled Sesame Street. Studio kicks Big Bird and Elmo to the curb. You hear that, Joan? You're a Muppet. You should be very upset. Yeah, you're like a little Muppet. So this was kind of shocking news to me that Sesame Street got canceled. But yeah. Ardent, Joan requires cuddles. Yes, she does. You all right, Joan? Oh, you're being nice now. So yeah, I was a bit shocked that they canceled Sesame Street. Alex Ogle is here. Oh, Tony, I done a naughty. Make a note to watch video messages to the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. Uh-oh. 163? Okay. What have you done, Alex? What have you done? Did you edit me in a crazy deep fake where I say something insane? Oh, the poor lotus eaters. They living in the UK. And UK's in rough shape these days. Ardent. Sesame Street was canceled. That's it. Man, game over, man. Game over. I know. It's very sad to hear. I loved Sesame Street as a kid. I used to watch it all the time. My favorite song was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Indie Phantom. Jude Law is not a super draw. Yeah, not anymore, if he ever was. Zebek's Demise. You were getting talked up in video chat. It's a good advertisement. Oh, really? Indie Phantom. Sesame Street didn't they? I'm not sure if they did anything specific. They were always kind of woke in their own way because they're run by progressives, so I'm sure they have... What is your pronoun, Cindy? My pronoun is... I'm pretty sure they did that. Something like that. But I don't think they went too hard into it, but who knows? I mean, it only takes once. Zebek's Demise. That's the best Sesame Street song. It really is. It's very funky. Ardent at Indie Phantom. Yeah, even Proto Woke. Bert and Ernie have been gay for decades. Although I did see an amazing clip somebody reposted on Twitter of two of the guys from The Sopranos did a guest spot on Sesame Street. So it was Paulie Walnuts dressed as Bert and Bobby Bacala dressed as Ernie, trying to like Bert and Ernie are directing them in I guess a play about them. So they're trying to do their shtick, but they're doing it wrong, and the Muppets are correcting them. It was pretty funny. Oh my. Ardent. Today's show was brought to you by the letters F and U, and the number is 69. Alex Ogle. Resuming normal service. Documentary pitch. Century. Sydney Sweeney, in a bikini, leads 99 women in bikinis to London to administer slaps to Lily Phillips for her recent stunt. The documentary ends with Sweeney advising Phillips that if she goes through with the next stunt, there will be a follow-up to Century called Millennium. Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about this porn girl, Lily Phillips, all week. So the deal was, for those of you who missed it, and I'm sure lots of you would miss it, because who cares, but she slept with 101 men for her porn OnlyFans or porn movie or whatever the hell it was. And then she got interviewed and then sort of regrets it, but kind of doesn't. And then says, well, now I'm going to follow it up with 1,000 men having sex with me. And everybody this week was talking about it, which I don't think is going to help the situation with her, because that's just going to make her do it even more. You know, the publicity she's getting over it seems to be tied to her crying about it. I suspect the crying is insincere, and it's all a grift to get everybody to watch her have sex with 1,000 men. So, Indie Phantom. I guess, yeah, they were always in a woke neighborhood and had a vagrant literally living in a trash can. I heard that. Bert and Ernie are the odd couple light. There was a great site on the internet called something like The Real Story of Bert, where the guy who ran the website would Photoshop. This is the very early days of Photoshop, but he would Photoshop Bert into every bad thing that happened in history and blame Bert for it. So the idea was Bert was this evil thing that had throughout the ages caused much despair and destruction. So he would Photoshop him in next to Stalin and Mao and all these guys. It was very funny. I don't know if it's still around. Ardent at Alex Ogle. I'm in. Ardent. She's the current reigning champion whore. She didn't know HIV was transmitted sexually. I have a hard time believing that's true. I think perhaps she did know, and she just said that because it makes for good copy. Alex Ogle at Ardent. That admission was astonishing. Indie Phantom. Yeah, she was always doing the 1K. This was practice. Her mom is her manager. Yeah. Joan, let me see your face. You got stuff all in your face, babe. Trying to get it out. Here. There you go. Ugh. Oh, poor dog. Yeah, I mean, her mom's her manager. Look, it doesn't matter how many porn movies you do. Once you've done one, there's really no coming back. Once the taint of porn is upon you, there's no like, oh, I only did 2 porn movies. Nah, it kind of doesn't matter. You could do 2, you could do 20. It's kind of almost the same at that point. So, you know, and really, there are a tiny percentage of women who are actually, they don't mind it at all. They're built for it. It doesn't bother them. They're in porn and they enjoy it. That Nina Hartley is an example of that. I think Nina Hartley didn't bother her in the slightest. She still does porn. She's like a grandma age porn now. But some of these girls get into it and they do, you know, they end up self-deleting because they can't handle it and they realize what a mistake they made and they can't go back. But there's been a lot of talk about trying to stop something like this. I don't think you could stop it, but I think what you have to do is you have to educate people who want to do this that once you do this, you're not going back to your normal life ever. Like, it's over. And you will forever be known as a slutty, kind of disgusting person. So the people who criticize you, and they should talk to people who are experienced in this, who are already in the business, so they know what they're getting into. But they don't. They don't. Ardent. Oscar is an inspiration. It doesn't matter if you are trash. It's garbage can, not garbage cannot. Bert was a pioneer of waterboarding in the Vietnam conflict. That's exactly what would be on the site. Indie Phantom. Yeah, there was a prawn star who came close to 1,000K in 2004. I think that was Houston, because wasn't she on the Howard Stern show? I remember her being on the Howard Stern show because there was like a guy who was going to prom and he asked Houston out, and I think Howard facilitated her going out with him on prom. And then it got weird when he was like, after he graduated, he kept seeing Houston. So I don't know. Ardent, there was a great Facebook page dedicated to the sickest Muppet Sesame Street memes before I got sick of being banned all the time. Alex Ogle, mathematically, however, 110 hours is 6 minutes per. 1,000 is 36 seconds per. Even over 20 hours, that is no more than a minute per go. They'd better have an ambulance on standby. Yeah, I don't think she could do it in 24 hours. I think it'll be impossible. I think she needs about 3 days at minimum. Alex Ogle, I'm not surprised Sesame Street is finally finishing, only that it went on so long. It's always been horrifically woke. Yeah, I don't know horrifically woke, but it's always been kind of woke. But it, like, the goal, of progressives back in, say, the 70s wasn't to be woke per se. It was about, peace, love, and happiness, man. That kind of stuff. It was all very soft and empathetic kind of thing. But that's been rolled into the wokeness. So, Indie Phantom. Self-deletion in that industry is also common with the men. There are lots of these docs, like After Prawn Ends, that show how destructive it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the men, I've heard that the male stars really can only make money in gay porn or gay prawn. I might as well say it now. I keep trying to censor myself, YouTube, but anyhow, yeah, they can only make money in the gay stuff. So, but whatever. JC, I thought Linda Sparks banged a couple hundred guys. She was on Stern too. I vaguely remember her too. JC, she's going to need an IV like at the Diddy party freakout. I think she just needs tons of time and probably will get exhausted, and I don't know. She'll probably be asleep. She'll probably wake up. You're at 908. What? I miss. Oh, I passed out around 740. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Sparks holds the records. Oh, okay. You know, and it's really insincere for her to go on a documentary, start crying about sleeping with over 100 men, and then say, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing 1,000 men in a few weeks." Like, okay, so you don't care about doing 100 men? That's nothing. Ardent. Prawns, like in District 9. Ha 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 ha. Skeleton Crew flops. I thought I heard positive reviews about that, or were people joking? No, they say the first 2 episodes are pretty good, but then in the 3rd episode they introduce, Timmy has 2 moms, and then, I don't know, I guess it went off the rails, or they don't like it. See, again, this is what I said would happen with the woke stuff. It's becoming so radioactive, it doesn't even matter if they introduced 2 moms in such a way that made sense to the plot and wasn't particularly woke. People see it now, and they have that instant reaction. Oh, great. They're going to screw another one up. All right, I'm out. And I don't blame them for having that reaction. That's the way I react now, too. Oh, great. Here we go. No, thank you. Indie Phantom. Alex, the reviews were great, but people burned out on Star Wars, I think. Alex Ogle at Indie Phantom. And the Mercante, caught in the conflicts of truth as gaming community rallies around YouTube star Smash JT. Alyssa Mercante is suing this guy, Smash JT, but it doesn't look good for her. It looks like she's going to lose, and then JT is going to, counter sue her. But more e-drama that I'm sure no one needs. But mostly, my understanding is it was mostly initiated by her. Indie Phantom. Oh, yeah, I forgot 2 mommies in episode 3. Yeah, just as soon as people see it, it's just like, no thanks. Because it won't stop at that. This is, again, part of the problem with the lefties. Once they start, they don't stop. They could stop. They could just say, okay, we're going to have 2 mommies in. Okay, and we're not going to put anything else woke. No. We'll stop there. Nope. They'll keep going. LeMay. She doxed him, too. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big no-no on the internet. So, that usually gets you in a lot of trouble. I don't know what the deal is between these two. I haven't been following the story close enough, but yeah, it sounds like she's the bad guy in this. Indie Phantom, way too much SW on Disney, oversaturated and largely crap. Yeah, that too. So people are more sensitive about it. Again, in order to get the Star Wars fans back and to get Star Wars back to where it was, you would have to do the most based Star Wars movie of all time. A movie that Disney would never greenlight. You'd have to get Mark Hamill back in line to stop doing his own wackiness online. I just don't see it. Alex, such a shame. There's a hot waitress at a nearby bar called Alyssa. I don't want Mercy You Next Tuesday E in the name of Headspace. Mercy You Next Tuesday. Oh. Oh, okay. Mercanti in the same headspace. Yeah. Yeah, I could say. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. She'll just it sounds like she's going to lose this case, and JT will probably get a big wad of money that she'll be forced to pay. But I don't know if she has any money. I mean, she may not have any money and she doesn't care. So moving on to Variety. Let's see. Here's Kraven the Hunter. Bombs with $11 million opening weekend. See, that's probably going to kill his chances of becoming James Bond. Because that bad BO, ooh, that's not going to go over well with the Bond people. But we'll see. Quentin Tarantino continues to comment on television and movies. I'm not sure why. I guess he's gearing up for his final movie. Alex, I want to try out Dune Prophecy. Is it so crap? Even having Mark Strong in it doesn't help? Or is it, heaven forfend, good? I don't know. The Dune stuff looks too boring to me and too slow. JC, he's calling her a C word, Tony. I know. Was trying to be nice. Indie Phantom, hot bar waitress, get great tips. Ardent, the percentage of women named Alyssa who happen to be psychos is unexpectedly high. Possibly. Indie Phantom, I don't have enough data on Alyssa specifically. Indie Phantom, that was just a rumor about Bond. Oh, really? Well, this is not a rumor. Malcolm in the Middle is coming back for a Disney Plus 4-episode run, which I would normally be excited about, except it's coming back on Disney. So, how woke is it going to be? Probably pretty woke. But we'll see. Indie Phantom, QT and Roger Avery for fun on Joe Rogan. Oh, okay. I'll try to remember that. But how much money, how desperate is Bryan Cranston that now he's willing to go back on Malcolm in the Middle? That seems like a big step down for Bryan Cranston, who's got a gigantic career in TV and then parlayed it into movies, but didn't really do very well. And now is like, right back into Malcolm in the Middle? What next? Are they going to revive Seinfeld just so he could do a guest appearance? Carter Chain, I love Dune Prophecy. It has woke elements, but it's still 100% Dune, which is great. Ardent at Carter Chain, what era is it in? Alex at Carter Chain, that's good to hear. I'll give it a watch. JC, the percentage of women who happen to be psycho is high, period. You said it, not me, JC. Indie Phantom, Bryan Cranston's future is on Cameo. Ardent at JC, fair. Carter Chain, 150 after the Butlerian Revolution and 10,000 years before the books and movies. All right, Chris Rock's SNL monologue slams Jake Paul, Elon Musk, Trump, and healthcare CEO assassination. Sometimes drug dealers get shot. Okay. Once again, Variety covering the best of SNL. JC, they're going to make the Dewey trans. Oh, dear God, that would be terrible. Indie Phantom, Dune just puts me to sleep in any version. Yeah, it doesn't look great to me. I mean, I kind of want to see the Dune movies just because I read the first book, and the first book's pretty good. But it's not like for like a brief window of time, I was kind of psyched to see it, and now I'm just kind of like, eh. Ardent at Carter Chain. Ah, thanks. Let's see. Same-sex Japanese dating reality show The Boyfriend renewed by Netflix as court rules gay marriage ban unconstitutional. So look forward to that. More gay stuff on Netflix, everybody. I know, you're shocked. But yes, there will be more gay stuff on Netflix. More about the Yellowstone finale. This movie Carry On is now playing. I watched kind of some of the beginning of it, and I just couldn't get into it. It's kind of boring. Kind of by the numbers thriller movie that seems to tout the TSA as a paragon of virtue. And I did not like that. I did not buy that for a second. It makes everybody looking who cares about privacy, and there's a bunch of complaining passengers who are complaining that their privacy is being violated while they're being searched. And they make them look like total freaks. And as one of those freaks, I resent that, and I really don't want to watch the end of it. So screw you, Carry On. Let's see. Indie Phantom, the Dune cast is dry. Ardent, I devoured all the Frank Herbert Dune books when I discovered them. You probably should have read them. I mean, eating them's got to be unhealthy. Alex Ogle, any remake is going to be a disaster. Slightly off topic, I was listening to the UK Parade Top 20 from this week in 1979 on BBC Radio 2. One song was Madness by Madness called One Step Beyond. I know that song. It opens with the Japan. Oh, wait. It opens with the, and then Ardent, Japan is being infiltrated. It opens with the line, this is the heavy, heavy monster sound, the nuttiest sound around. The BBC are so woke they cut out the nuttiest sound around due to the furor about it sounding like the mid-century Germans around. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Nuttiest? They cut the word nuttiest because it sounds like another word that they're afraid of? That's crazy. But I like that song, by the way. It's a fun song. Ardent, messy and pedestrian is a brutal way to talk about a fight scene. Yes, it is. LOL. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is in the headline. Carry On star Taron Egerton on the movie's messy and pedestrian fight sequences and extreme death scene. It's so camp and larger than life. I found the whole thing just tiresome and boring, and an obvious ploy to make the TSA look like amazing guys who always want to do their job just like the cops, when they are not cops. They are not cops, and I do not believe they're trained nearly as well that even the movie portrays, from what I've read about it. And I don't like the TSA, and I think it should be disbanded immediately. Let's see. Ardent, LOL. Indie Phantom, I can't believe this Xmas movie from Hulu called Nutcrackers with Ben Stiller opened TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, this year. It was the director of Exorcist Believer who was fired from that trilogy. Well, maybe they're better with comedy, but I kind of doubt it. It didn't look great. It looked okay-ish. And there seems to be an effort on his part to revive comedies. It just may be out of his reach, though, depending on the script. I don't know. Ben Stiller's kind of woke now too, so whenever anybody goes woke, it kind of damages their comedy beyond repair. I theorize. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Ardent just slipped into a subliminal. Japan is being infiltrated there. Let's see. Nicole Kidman almost gave up acting in 2008 after having first child with Keith Urban. I was like, I think I'm pretty much done now. Oh, to have a time machine to go back to 2008. Oh, what would you do with a time machine, Tony DiGerolamo? I'd go back to 2008 and tell Nicole Kidman, yes, yes, yes. I'm from the future, Nicole. You don't want to do any more movies. Ardent message redacted. Indie Phantom. I thought it was a remake of the old Brit Carry On series. Actually, I didn't, but you know. JEC, they're making pro-airport security propaganda now? Again, I demand better psyops. This is embarrassing. Yeah, it's bad. Indie Phantom. Stiller is a white dude for Harris. I wish Kidman would quit. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I think Stiller's kind of done. You can't do comedy if you're too worried about offending people. It really hurts your comedy. So. All right, moving on to Fandom Pulse. So, yeah, Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim is beyond woke, with Hollywood death cult and LGBTQ messaging reaching new lows. So, yeah, JDA doesn't like The War of Rohirrim at all. JEC, but why 2008? Why not quit before you started? Well, that's true. Ardent, I'd go back to World War I and tell Mustache Guy to stick to painting. If F those NM. Alex Ogle at Indie Phantom. They could never remake Carry On Up the Khyber. Indie Phantom. Stiller directed The Cable Guy and Reality Bites. I don't really like those movies. So I guess they're okay. I haven't seen them. I've seen clips from them. Couldn't get into it. Voice actor for Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, exposed as another LGBT activist. This is another woke video game where the main character is a bald lesbian. Because again, representation. Because, you know, the video game industry, which is like 90% of the customers are men, they're sitting around going, hey, I really wish I could play a lesbian doing all this stuff. Indie Phantom. I like Carry On Emmanuel. Rated R for adult situations. The Game Awards was this week, I think. Razorfist has a good video about it. The Game Awards shares Indonesian man's phone number as Fortnite island code. Okay. It's weird. Alex Ogle at Indie Phantom. Dirty boys in your bed. Ardent at Alex. I think I might have mentioned before that Barbara Windsor is one of my distant cousins. I think you did. Indie Phantom. Cable Guy is a decent dark comedy. That's the one with Jim Carrey, when Jim Carrey was still kind of funny. The Witcher 4 EP admits CD Projekt Red is aiming for new players and people who, quote, do not play our games. Because nothing says success like going after customers who don't want to play video games. Indie Phantom. Game Awards gotta be woke. I believe they are. I don't know. I won't watch them. More on CD Projekt Red's Lord. Designer claims despite Witcher 3 ending that sees Ciri die, The Witcher 4 does not break any canon or even offend canon by making Ciri the main character and a woman, and The Witcher women, 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 women. Ladies, when we take back our spaces, you're not getting back in. And in the future, when the cycle goes all the way around again, and you get back to the point at which, oh, we haven't been allowed in spaces in 50 years. This isn't right. Hopefully somebody then will show you a video about how you invaded all our spaces, ruined everything, and then we had to kick you all out. Ardent, LOL, CDPR. You need people who don't know the lore and how you are pissing on it. Let's see. IGN parent Ziff Davis saw organic revenue decline by 10% since 2021, now buying out and laying off staff. So goodbye to you. And here's the bald lesbian for the intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, whatever that. That's a terrible title. What a clunky and terrible title. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. This is just bad. Alex Ogle at Ardent. Prove it. Do some arm flinging exercises in a campground. In a bikini. Ooh. Carry On Camping remake with Sydney Sweeney. Ardent and Haley Atwell. Alex Jones. Tony can play Sid James' role. Ooh. Thanks for thinking of me, guys. Over at the Hollywood Reporter, Yellowstone and the sprawling Dutton family tree explained. Well, that's a lot of information that I don't care about, but my girlfriend watched Yellowstone. She really liked it. Sounds like a soap opera to me, but you can like soap operas if you want. Ardent, Jada Pinkett? That is not Jada Pinkett. I'm sure she'd be happy to play the role, though. Let's see. Michael Moore says he will not tamp down or condemn anger stirred by Luigi Mangione. So we see that Michael Moore still is being a clown, I think. Can Wicked be spoiled? Music, movies, writers are not convinced. It's been running for 21 years. Okay. Speaking of gay, not interested. Not interested in your musical. Sorry. I mean, my girlfriend went to see it, and even she said it was like, it's long. She was like, I like some of the songs, but geez, it goes on forever. Should have really made 3 movies. Ardent. Mom likes Yellowstone and the rest. I preferred Hell on Wheels. Indie Phantom. Carry On Camping looks like a good one. I miss light TNA, light comedy. Yeah, me too. Ardent. Nah, Pinkett's making G.I. Jane too. Let's see. SNL skewers internet's obsession with the United Healthcare CEO killer. I don't care about SNL, and I wish it stopped covering it. Variety, Hollywood Reporter, and everybody else. Oh, good news, everybody. Barbie sequel in the early stages as Greta Gerwig and Nora Bombar settle on story idea. Women. All right. Moving on. 28 years later, trailer drops and fans psych themselves out over a perceived Cillian Murphy. Is that supposed to be him? I don't know. I don't think he's in it. Alex Ogle, if Pinkett is going back to G.I. Jane, then Will Smith had better practice his slapping technique. Yeah, I mean, the 28 later's thing looks okay. It looks like Crossed. That's what it looks like. If you've ever read the comic Crossed, they had a storyline that takes place on an island. It's almost exactly the same. And the Crossed, they're not zombies. They're people who are totally psychotic. In the world of Crossed, you get the virus and it makes you completely psychotic. And you just start murdering and raping and doing all sorts of horrible things. By the way, it's amazingly graphic, but it's kind of an amazing comic at the same time. But it looks very similar to Crossed. I don't know if it's based on that. I don't think it is. There was rumor they were going to do a Crossed TV show. But I I don't know. I mean, I like all things zombies, but I don't quite understand the 28 years zombies. Like, this guy to me is clearly, he shouldn't be alive, right? He looks way too sunken in. He looks undead. That to me is a zombie. The virus keeps you alive. I get it, but it looks like he should barely be able to move. The hot assassin, Ardent. The hot assassin thing is cringier than Greta Thunberg and Lily Potter being role models for girls. Excuse me. So dry in here. Carter. I'm too young for the 28 later movies, so I watched them this week, and now I'm excited for the new movies. Oh, okay. JC, Tony, if you want to get me something for Christmas, you can do a Megalopolis review. I will get around to it. It is a long movie, is part of the problem, but this month is the time for me to do that. JC, Cross with Garth Ennis, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's online, or it was, so you can read quite a bit of it. Indie Phantom, 28 years later is one of those titles that just sounds like a meme. We are getting those crazy late legacy sequels in addition to reboots. Alex at AJEC, why should you wish that on Tony? He still hasn't seen the video comments section to the Lotus Eaters 1063. Uh-oh. I have to remember that. James Gunn gives the green light to a Clayface movie, which I think is a huge mistake. Indie Phantom, I saw Megalopolis. Poor Tony if he reviews it. Oh, Jesus. Well, I at least get to see Audrey Plaza's boobs before they're too saggy to be interesting. I wonder. JC, it's not long. It's 2 hours long. It feels like 6 hours long, though. From JEC. Wizards of the Coast is being woke again. They renamed Magic the Gathering World Kaladesh due to Kala having a derogatory colorist and racist connotations in Hindi language. So Wizards of the Coast continues to police language in all cultures and languages, keeping you safe from words. Wizards of the Coast. There was rumors, by the way, a few weeks ago that Elon Musk was thinking about buying Hasbro to save Dungeons and Dragons. But it seems to, sadly, it only been a rumor. Man, I would help him. I could fix Dungeons and Dragons for you. I am an expert in that. Ardent, looking for that video comment now. Indie Phantom, I don't remember her boobs. JC, you get to see her sit on Shia LaBeouf's face. Not so sure I need to see that, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Over at Deadline. Oh, this was big news this week, and it's freaking hilarious. ABC settles Trump defamation case. Will now give $15 million to Trump, or to a foundation and museum, and they have to give an on-air apology to Trump. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for that apology. And I believe George Stephanopoulos is probably going to have to read it. Not that it matters to these people, I think, because they'll just read anything for money. But, yeah. That they got to apologize to Trump, that's pretty awesome. This is just like what happened to The View, right? They had to go on air and read an apology. And that's the funniest thing ever. Alex Ogle, I'm just hoping Cavill doesn't screw up 40K with Amazon. Yeah, I don't know. That could go either way. Oh, but speaking of that, Space King Episode 2 is out. I saw it yesterday. It's fantastic. So if you love Warhammer 40K, all hail Space King, because Space King is the best. I'm a huge fan of Space King. Indie Phantom, yeah, the apology will still be funny. Oh, it's going to be great. I hope somebody cuts that and posts it very soon. All right. So there's going to be a spin-off of Yellowstone because this is never going to end because there's way too much money. So 2 of the characters are doing a spin-off where it's just them. All right. Ardent, timestamp. Lotus Eaters podcast. All right. I'm just going to... Okay. I don't want this to play. Okay. So it's not going to play. All right. Good. I'll look at that later. Alex Ogle, ABC's apology will be one of those passive-aggressive statements that makes it seem like they did nothing wrong and it was Trump's fault all along. Yes. Alex Ogle, ooh, Space King, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, they raised enough money for a second episode. John Adams, I just spent last several hours painting my first Warhammer 40K mini. Tiny things and shaky hands don't mix. What you do is you get yourself a little, I don't know, little like holder for it. And it holds the figure and then you just paint it. And you do that, of course, underneath a magnifying glass of some kind. You can probably get yourself, they used to make these things, I forget who used them. I want to say engineers. And it would be this desk lamp, but the top of it would be clear with a magnifying glass, and then there's a light around it, so you click it and you could examine things small and closely. They're perfect for painting figures. I don't have the patience for it, personally. Ardent at Alex Ogle, you bastard. Alex Ogle at Ardent, ha 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 ha. Ardent, LOL, upside Tony. The boys were wondering where you had gone off to. Harry, anyway. Dear God, the way Stelios garbles English, though. JC, whoa, at John Adams. Save some pussy for the rest of us. Oh, come on. Painting figures is a very relaxing hobby, I hear. I mean, you can make up your mind, Alex. You know what won't get you a crazy Alyssa in your life? Painting figures. Ardent, at John Adams. I remember when I used to have the fine motor control for more than an hour at a time. All right, more on Heretic and Kraven and Moana. Jamie Foxx, too blessed to be stressed after physical altercation during birthday dinner at Mr. Chow. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Female power triumphs at the box office amid fanboy fallout as Moana 2 and Wicked kick Kraven the Hunter and Lord of the Rings to the curb. Sunday AM update. Unfortunately, this is the message Hollywood took away from this. After years of feminizing characters in movies, destroying IPs, destroying everything, losing millions and billions of dollars, they finally stumbled upon a hit that women like. Or another one, I should say. Barbie was a pretty big hit, too. But the message they take away is, oh, see, we should have never aimed movies at men. You can aim movies at both groups of people. You can aim movies at a lot of different people. You don't have to just focus on women. Women, 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 women. You can focus on women and men and other groups of people. But you have to do it in proportion to the audience. So, are there more women than men? Yes. Okay, slightly more. You should have some women movies. But there are almost as many men. And they like to go to the movies too. And since they decide where the date goes, they usually have an inordinate amount of input in going to a movie. This is why the demo used to be 18 to 35-year-old men. Because men choose where the date is going. Because women like that. So if you decide to take your date to a movie, haha, good luck on that now. They might pick a movie like, oh, this sounds cool. Even though it might not be appropriate for the girl, let's say. She doesn't want to see an action movie, but guess what? She goes to see it because she doesn't care about the movie. She cares about the date. She's worried about how the man acts and are they going to be together and all that stuff. She doesn't care about the movie. I would submit to you that no woman, most women, wouldn't go on a date for Wicked because their attitude would be, I want to watch that movie. I don't want to drag my boyfriend along and have to worry about him and what he's doing and concentrate on my relationship. I want to have an actual relaxing time watching a movie I like. I also don't want to deal with him going, do we have to sit through this? So there's no reason you can't do movies for women and men. Fanboy fallout. You're the problem with the fanboy fallout. You started it on purpose. And many, many times in these rags, you have said so and laughed and said, oh, F these guys. And now you're losing money. And once in a while you stumble upon a hit. Is that going to be enough? Is this thing making $1 billion? No, it's not making $1 billion. But Captain America's coming out in a couple of months. That movie ain't making any money, in my view. Oh, God, I'm so phlegmy. I may have to go get another drink. Zevic's Demise at John Adams. The more you practice, the easier it gets. You can use the short dowels and stick the figures to them with poster tack. John Adams, thanks y'all. I do have a little painting handle thing that I stuck the figure to with blue tack. Yeah, that's a way too. Ardent, way to miss the frigging point, Hollywood, you morons. Indie Phantom, yes, someone threw glass at Jamie Foxx. Wow, weird. Why would you do that to Jamie Foxx? Seems weird. Zevic's Demise at John Adams. Yep, same idea. Indie Phantom, studios got stupid and need remedial training, which they're not going to get. They just won't do it. They're going to keep doing this. They're going to double down. They're going to make more female, look forward to a bunch of Broadway plays hitting the screen. Alex Ogle, was Jamie Foxx I saw singing a song about no more white girls? Yes. Do you think he's implicated in the Diddy evidence? According to him, no. He was like, apparently the one guy would be like, ooh, I'm getting out of here. Which could be true, but it might not be true. I don't know. I'll tell you who is implicated in the Diddy evidence. Diddy. Diddy is in trouble. I mean, I've never seen a guy with more horrific charges and accusations against him. I mean, I thought it was bad when Bill Cosby was getting them, but holy crap. I mean, Bill Cosby looks positively quaint as compared to some of the accusations on Diddy. I don't think they could possibly let Diddy go, even if he was innocent. I don't think the authorities will let him go under any circumstances. He is going to prison. And then they're going to throw up their hands and let the, appeals process grind through. William Wallace is here. Thank you for trying to free Scotland. Maybe they should original instead of vandalizing other people's work then. Yes. Yeah, I have no problem if you want to sit down and go, I want to make an original movie by women for women. I'm not going to go see it probably, but you end up with some stupid woke movie that's all about women. But okay. I mean, I've seen plenty of those movies advertised in trailers, but at least make it original. You know, the only reason people go to see some of these IPs is because they are old IPs. And to say, oh, no, it's time for a new audience. Well, make a new movie, you asshats. Indie Phantom, F the audience. What happened to my audience? Yeah, exactly. Arden, please let Mariah Carey be on the Diddy list. I want her to never hear her murder Christmas songs again. I would say she is not on the list. I would say she's very much not on it. But that's just my guess. Alex Ogle, Diddy will be America's Jimmy Savile. Sounds that way. JC, Jamie Foxx doesn't like girls. He'd be like, there are girls in this freak off? Ew. He doesn't like girls? I never knew that. I did not know that. I know he has kids. I thought he was married. I know, and it's Hollywood, but I had never heard that. I heard the rumors about Eddie Murphy, but those were only rumors based on that. Apparently, Eddie picked up, I think he got arrested when he picked up some tranny girl from somewhere, and then he was just giving her a ride. And then he got popped by the cops. I don't know. It could have been the Hollywood trying to get something on Eddie so they could pressure him, but I don't know. There's a lot of intrigue in Hollywood, I think. That's just my guess. JC, Dave Rubin has kids. That's true. He paid good money for those kids. Carter Chain, Diddy diddles boys. I'm pretty sure that's true, but I don't have proof of that. He's definitely been accused of that. Gross topics today. Over at Bleeding Fool, Mel Gibson condemns worsening epidemic of child trafficking in Mar-a-Lago speech. Based Mel Gibson. And Shazam star Zachary Levi says he hasn't been canceled after endorsing Trump. I think he's quietly been canceled by the people who are still in the resistance. They're still quietly canceling people. They're the smart ones of the cancel movement. So you don't cancel somebody by coming out and saying, oh, we'll never hire you again. Oh, we hate you. Blah, 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 blah. The way to do it is to just like, hey, let's not call that guy. Why? I don't like him. And he never gets a call. So I don't think there's any way to know. I mean, because I feel like I've been canceled a couple of times on some of the events, but I don't know about it because, you know, some of those things got canceled even before we settled upon a date. But who knows? Maybe I'm paranoid. Ardent, good man, Mel. He's always been funny. Mel Gibson, and very talented. This is crazy. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, but apparently there was a comic book artist named Leonard Lawson who was who went to prison for the rest of his life for murder and sexual assault. And he had drawn some Lone Ranger comics. And then while he was in prison, he did murals in the prison, and they're painting him all over now that he's dead, and the staff doesn't want to be reminded of him. Alex Ogle, Gwen Stefani shares Christmas message about the love of Jesus. Press X to doubt. Oh yeah, press X to no doubt. Yeah, I thought that was a weird headline too. Back in the day, I remember Gwen Stefani. She didn't sound very religious. She didn't sound particularly irreligious, I'll say that, but she didn't sound religious to me, so just sort of came out of nowhere. What else? The Wrap. CNN is investigating the identity of the prisoner freed in Clarissa Ward's video. He may have been given a false identity. Yeah, or you completely set this up as a fake news item, Clarissa. Because Clarissa, I believe, was the same reporter on CNN who was accused of sort of faking she was on the ground, oh God, where was it? Somewhere in the Middle East, and she dove for cover. and on camera, but the bombing was not anywhere really near her. And so I think she was accused of staging, like, oh, we're under attack, and she was hiding in a ditch, but it didn't come off as very convincing. Jeremy at the Quartering did a video about it, and now she supposedly freed a prisoner in Syria, but I don't think she freed him because they said the prison had already been liberated, everybody had been sent out, and then I don't know, she rolled in there and let the guy out of his cell, and there was a big dramatic moment. Yeah, I'm not buying it. But that's CNN, everybody. Oh, it looks like Adam Sandler made a cameo in SNL. Who cares? Oh, here it is. Jamie Foxx hit by a thrown glass at a Beverly Hills restaurant fight. Weird. All right. Wrapping up with cosmic book news. More on Kraven bombing. Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2 headed for box office disaster. Yeah, and it's a third movie for like 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, how's this headed for disaster? Costs too much money. Ardent, is Stefani still with Blake Shelton? That might explain it. One of Blake's best songs is God Country. Ardent, oh, that was absolutely staged as F. Yeah, I think so too, with the CNN thing. But how do you make a movie to number 3 in the country and it doesn't make money? It's very strange. Very strange. James Gunn's Superman teaser could drop Sunday. Oh, dear God. Just drop it already, will you? Drop it and be done with it. I'm so sick of hearing about Superman movie. And James Gunn talking and talking and talking and talking and talking about it. He's built it up way too much, I think. Ardent, what's going on with these various prominent people getting beat on? Fox, McConnell, Leno? I don't think Leno got beat. I think he genuinely fell. I mean, he's up there. Indie Phantom, SNL is all cameos. Yeah. And no comedy. All cameos, no comedy. Tonight on SNL. The sad thing is, there's so many targets rife for comedy right now. You could do a really funny comedy show if you wanted comedy to be on SNL, like real comedy. James Gunn confirms Clayface is DCU, said to be a lower budget horror movie. Okay, maybe. If you just do one and done, I could get behind that. Maybe. If it's a horror movie, but I don't know, man. Yeah, see, these guys on Cosmic Book News, they like Red One too. So maybe it's not so bad. Here's Sydney Sweeney gearing up for a movie where she'll dress like that. Ardent, Clayface equals horror movie? Shame. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to do with it. I think you needed to introduce him in a Batman movie first and then spin it off, but Indie Phantom, any Superman trailer will be underwhelming, I feel. Yeah, when you talk about it this much, I say yes. I agree. So here's Sydney. Here's Sydney working out. Here's Sydney posing. Here's Sydney's butt. Here's Sydney looking frumpy as hell. And a bunch of pictures of her just dropped in a bikini where she kind of looks a little doughy. So maybe she already shot this movie and she looked toned then, but she didn't look toned in those bikini photos. She looked a little doughy. Ardent, oh man, the Annex Canada thing just keeps giving. I love it. Trolling everybody with my thumbnail today. Proposed Canada as a 51 flag with Moto Canadians for annexation. Nice. Alex at Ardent. Ha, yes. Ardent. She's got a nice back though. Yeah, the annexation thing, again, I think if we annex Canada, we need to annex Canada. We need to annex, well, make Puerto Rico a state, Guam a state, and we need to break Canada up. And that way, we should have 76 stars. And then we can go back to the old flag where it's 13 stars around a 76. I think that would be the ideal situation. Maybe Greenland can be tossed in there while we're at it. Indie Phantom. Sweeney movies have kind of sucked, to be honest. Yeah, I don't. You're gonna show off her acting chops by making her ugly in this movie? I don't think that's the way to go. People who apparently have never seen movies. William Wallace. So in your opinion, what is going on with the remakes of everything? Laziness? Budget? Because for me, it's a bit parasitic. Sorry if you covered it already. I had to step away. No, we could talk about it again because it's all that's happening in the movies. Let me come back to it though. JC, Trump is just trolling Trudeau. I know. Ardent. Canada could be 6 states. Easy. Alex, trust me, Tony, you don't want Canada. You'd be gifting the Democrats White House for decades. Not if we take Alberta. But getting back to William's question, the remakes are corporate people. These are corporate people making the decision for movies. Here, I'm going to put Joan over here. It's getting too hot. So, if you're in corporate, no matter what corporate company you're with, your only concern is making money for the next quarter. So, if you make a can of peas and the can of peas sells well, how do you get the sales to go up? Well, you might say new and improved can of peas with 3% more salt or something, or whatever. And you try to sell more cans of peas. But ultimately, you have to go back to what sells. You can try to innovate as best you can, but you always go back to what sells. And what sells, if you work at the can of peas factory, is a can of peas. In movies and media, you can't keep sending out a can of peas. But guys from corporate don't understand that. So guys from corporate, if they come in and they're running the show, what they'll do is they'll look on a spreadsheet. Oh, what made money before? And they'll look at the studio spreadsheet and they'll say, well, why don't we remake these movies? They made money before. People seem to like them. Now, that works to some extent. But it's the law of diminishing returns, which corporate guys will follow until they literally sell off the assets of the company. And they've done that for decades. Now, again, if you made a can of peas and you run the can of peas company in the ground and then sell off all the assets, you know, the can of peas factory and your deal with the farmers and the building that the office workers used to work in and all that stuff, you know, you might make a good profit and somebody else will be making the peas, and that's fine. But with the movies, you kind of can't do that. But they try to keep applying that same thing. And they also applied ESG and the DEI stuff, which doesn't work. So normally, a corporate guy had to rely, in the movie studio business, had to rely on his talent. But when you say to the HR people, well, See, we had this DEI objective that we're trying to meet. So hire a bunch of people who are of different races, hire a bunch of women, hire a bunch of different people with pronouns, and get me a guy in a wheelchair and a furry and a cybernetic guy. Like, when you hire all those people, what happens? Well, first off, you've hired them not based on any kind of merit, but based on their race, their religion, their gender, and all their wacky attributes that have nothing to do with their talent. The next step is most of those people are going to be woke because you've empowered the HR department to be woke. And HR departments are often run by women. And women are super susceptible to being woke. Even if it's not run by women, you might have guys saying, well, this is what I get paid to do, and they want me to do this, so that's what I'm doing. And what they tend to end up with is more woke talent who aren't even talented. But you can never fire them, which is bad, because the only metric you used to hire them was their various attributes that they'll never lose. They'll never lose those attributes. So since that's why you hired them, why would you fire them? They still have those attributes. That trans guy in a wheelchair, well, he sucks at writing scripts, but he's still a trans guy in a wheelchair. I can't fire him. Maybe if he gets an operation and detransitions, I could finally fire him, but I can't fire him now. He's still a trans guy in a wheelchair. And so none of the movies get any better. And when the corporate guys suggest, well, you guys seem to suck at movies. Well, why don't you remake all the movies we have? Sure, they can remake it poorly, and they do. And that's what we have. So what needs to happen is one of these companies needs to collapse, which has unfortunately been the plan since the beginning. And I've said this way back when, that the Chinese want to take over Hollywood, or at least damage it enough that they can swoop in and make the movies, because then they can push Chinese propaganda in the movies. Fortunately, the Chinese are still pretty bad at making movies, for the most part, under a communist regime. There are exceptions. Jackie Chan is an exception. But Jackie came out of Hong Kong, so now that he's sort of under the thumb of the Chinese government, I wouldn't expect his movies to do any good, and now they're kind of not fun, and they're kind of depressing, if you ask me. So the Chinese government may swoop in and buy one of our major studios, or buy a bunch of their assets, or buy Star Wars, and they'll try to make it based, but they'll also have to make it communist, which won't work. And at the rate they're going, they'll be broker than, I don't know, Disney. So it's a bad plan, but in the meantime, it's damaging the studios. So the communists never win, but they do a ton of damage in an attempt to win. And they have. And that's my thoughts on that. So, let me get back to where I Alex Ogle, at Alex Ogle from Ardent. Worse, you'd have an actual communist party. Somebody did the math, and we could take all of Canada, split it in the provinces, and they still wouldn't have enough electoral votes to beat Trump in the last election. JC, you don't want Canada. You don't want to deal with Quebec. Maybe not. Ardent, Yukon is basically Alaska. Ardent, well, the people are. Indie Phantom, I would like your thoughts on endless reboots too. IP is all there is. Yeah, it's the same thing what I said. They're stuck in this corporate loop, and the end game for the corporate guys would be to sell off all the assets of the studio, sell off all their IPs, make a ton of money, and then dip out with it and leave the mess to whoever takes it over. So I would actually like to see that. So what that looks like is this. They come in, they say, Disney, you're insolvent. So we're gonna restructure your business model. We're going to sell off the movie division and all its assets, and we're going to make you an amusement park, a lean, mean amusement park company again, with hotels and hospitality and all that kind of stuff. So Disney gets out of the movie business and just concentrates on their parks, let's say. And then because of that, hopefully they go back to being a good, what do you call it, steward of the parks at least. But actually, I think they're screwing that up too. So maybe the whole thing collapses and they literally just sell all of Disney. They just sell the parks and they sell off the IPs, and there's nothing left of it but a name, which is then bought up by, say, I don't know, Sony, and they just buy the Disney brand and they keep the platform going. Something like that. But the reboots, I mean, they're running out of things to reboot. They're now rebooting reboots. What was the thing I saw? Shit. Sorry. There was a reboot of something they had already rebooted, and I can't think of what it was. But that's where they're going to get. They're going to run out of everything, and then they're going to say, well, let's do it one more time. We'll just do the really, really, really big reboots. But again, because they own the rights to so many things, the idea is to keep cycling through the copyrights until you get back to one that hasn't been brought up in 30 years, and then, okay, we'll reboot that. Or you reboot one of the newer movies. Unfortunately, this is exactly what happened to comic books. I hate to tell you, the comic book industry is the blueprint that the movie industry is following down a rat hole. Comic books stopped doing new characters a long time ago. But every once in a while, one would creep in, like Venom. Venom was a new character created in the 90s by Todd McFarlane. And it was a huge, huge hit. But they stopped creating a lot of new characters at Marvel and DC. They would create once in a while, they'd get one. Now, I've heard from guys who work in the industry that the model is now, no new characters. We don't want to pay you the royalties. Take the old characters, reboot them. We own those characters. Redesign them, make them meaner, make them leaner, make them cooler, make them gay, make them lame, make them women. And then, boom, we'll put them right in the middle. And we'll pay you all kinds of money. But they don't these days, I hear. All right. Where was I? Ardent. Corpos is how you get Nosferatu released at Christmas. Yeah. Although the buzz on the movie's good. But I don't know, how many times can you see Dracula? William Wallace, yep, got it. They've successfully ruined establishment franchises in the process. Asshats. Yes, they have. But they don't care. What they care about is their money. They don't care about any of that. The talent is the only ones that care. Like, I'm talent. I care to some degree about Star Wars, but I can't do anything about it. I don't have the power. I'm not one of the corpos, so I can't touch it. I can't make that decision. Even if I was high in the hierarchy, let me look at Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau tried to save Star Wars, so goes the rumor. Even he couldn't save it. So, Ardent, agreed, asshats. Ardent, can we get Tony to say asshats 3 times? Asshats, asshats, asshats. Alex, at William Wallace. The problem isn't the remakes, it's the changes to the originals to remove the problematic bits and insert the message. Modern execs assume they can chop and change the old stuff. Yeah, and they assume that's what's hot, because they've been told that by the people who work for them, who are woke. And those people are only doing that because they've been told to be woke. Because they look at DEI and ESG and all of that, and they say, oh, this is what I have to do for my job. Okay. So we can't have problematic language. And that's what it says in my brochure here about CRT. There's problematic language. Oh, and we can't trigger people, apparently. Oh, well, I have an idea, sir. What if we put trigger warnings in front of all our movies? Oh, that's a great idea. Kids love trigger warnings. We all know that. Oh, yes, sir. And then they do that. Ardent. Hiring on immutable characteristics other than talent gets you the outcome you deserve. Yes. Indie Phantom. If the Pineys became a huge series, how long before Tony becomes George R.R. Martin? When is Pineys 23 coming? My books are very short and I like writing them. There are several different ways the Pineys goes as a TV series. The first way is the dream way, in which I pitch it to them and they go, yes, and drive the money truck to my house and I get to do whatever I want with it, which is to follow the books exactly as I've written them. That's highly unlikely to happen, but again, exactly how I've written them. The second way, which is slightly more likely, is that a producer reads the Pineys and loves it so much he wants to make the Pineys and wants it to be like the series, and then I get a J.K. Rowling deal where I have a lot of input, but I can't run the show, and I get to play one of the characters, but I don't get to play Hemingway like I envisioned, but maybe by that time I'm too old or whatever. And then it's pretty close. The next way would be that they come to me and they drive the money truck to my house and they say, well, we want to make the Pineys, but you can only be a consultant, and they kind of screw me on the contract, and I kind of can't say anything, but I get a bunch of money, and then they make it, and it's kind of close, but they kind of make some changes that piss me off, but I can't really say about it. But I get to do the books, and the books continue to churn on, and they're awesome, and everybody reads them, and I make even more money, and I sort of regret the sale, and then eventually they burn out, and then somebody else picks up the Pineys, and then over the years they keep picking it up, and I keep wanting to make the right Pineys, like, you know, Mike Mignola on Hellboy, making Hellboy again and again and again, and finally maybe by the third incarnation they get it right, but by then people are burned out on it and they don't want to see it. And then the worst way, of course, would be somehow, you know, I don't know, maybe I get bamboozled in a contract, or I'm seriously injured in an accident and have brain damage and I sign off on it, or maybe I just say F it and give me a pile of money because I'm dying or whatever, and I get a bunch of money, and they won't let me touch it, and they just completely ruin it. But that's very unlikely to happen because I'm already pretty comfortable with no money as it stands. So my goal would be to, again, be totally in charge of the Pineys. Basically, doing the Pineys as a TV show would be like Hemingway running the TV show. So imagine that. And I would keep writing the books. Even if they made me the star of the show, I would keep writing the books. I would probably have no time to do videos anymore, but I'd be writing the books too. They might come out a little slower because I'd be shooting like year round, but Alex Ogle at William Wallace. The big problem is when a company is taken over by someone who didn't have a hand in building it. Those types have no clue what is successful and can only understand balance sheets. Depending on the company, yeah. I would say in the case of media, that's a special case. And the problem with that is you have to allow the talent enough leeway to be talent. And you have to respect them. Respecting your talent is like respecting your product. If you take over, again, Can of Peas factory, and you use high quality peas, high quality salt, high quality water, and then you come in there and say, no, we're going to use the cheapest peas, the worst water, and salt I found at a dumpster, then you have no one but yourself to blame. You ruin the product. And that's what's happened now. They've ruined the product, and they refuse to fix it because a lot of the guys, number one, they don't know how to fix it, and they're making so much money they don't care. Like if you're making money, you're making millions of dollars at a company and the product sucks, do you really care? No, most guys got into business just to make money. If you're making money, that means everything's okay. I'm making millions of dollars. Even if the company's on fire, you don't care. Why would you? Maybe you hate movies. You don't care. I'm making millions of dollars. Don't you hate movies? Yeah, I kind of hate movies. But I'm still making millions of dollars. They don't care. They won't fire me. There are people like that in the movie industry. I've met them. That's part of the problem with the studios and the companies being so insanely large. There's so many people working there. I mean, I met a producer. I kind of think he hates movies. He definitely didn't know what a good movie was. He didn't know what a good book was. I couldn't have a discussion with him about like literary things or movie things. He didn't know anything. He literally did not know anything. But he made movies, allegedly. So, Ardent. Hong Kong Action Theater. Oops. Hold on. Messed everything up. Holy crap. I've lost my place again. Well, give me a second. You guys got way ahead of me. The Hong Kong Action Theater movies were the peak of Asian cinema. Miss it so much. William Wallace. Yep, The Message. That's why I don't watch any of it. When they replaced Dr. Leah Kynes from Dune with a black woman, no offense, but I'm done. I don't blame you. JC. China's collapsing. Industry is pulling out after the pandemic of unknown origin. They're done. Yeah, so that'll mitigate the damage somewhat, and Hollywood will abandon all this crap eventually. But in the meantime, the damage has been done. LeMay. And some of these people are true believers. Bob Iger may actually be a true believer in the DEI stuff. LeMay. Sea court drama. Chinese action animations. The video games are what's selling to the West. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Canada would probably total 30 electorates. And almost that many moved to Texas and Florida after the population shift here. So think on that. Storebang. Wow, YouTube showing ads during your live stream now. Some the bitches. Yeah, they've been doing that a while. I can't completely stop it. JC. The parks are popular because of the movies. The IPs and are the draw for the parks. Yeah, but they're killing them. So, for instance, one of the IPs they just put in the park is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. You all remember Tiana, right? Yeah, exactly. She was the black Disney princess they introduced in the, I forget what movie it was called, but it was it was set in New Orleans, and she was the main character and whatever. So now they're doing a ride based on her. I don't think she's popular enough to warrant a ride. They're doing another one based on Cars, which was popular enough, but I don't think there's been a new car movies in over what, 10, 15 years, 20 years maybe? But okay. Like, and is that a big enough draw? Doesn't seem to me. JC, Hellboy? There was a new Hellboy movie. You missed it. The Crooked Man. It was pretty good. Indie Phantom. Harry Potter and the Scream getting rebooted. Oh, Harry Potter and Scream getting rebooted. Yeah, like, it's way too soon to reboot Scream. Like, way too soon. And really, it's not worthy of any kind of reboot. It wasn't worthy of a sequel. It really wasn't worthy of a first movie, but I sort of gave that one a pass. Harry Potter, probably a little too soon to reboot that, quite frankly, but it sounds like it's going to be woke. By the way, there's already a bunch of characters being race swapped, allegedly. Indie Phantom, make them gay and lame. Nosferatu, I think, will underperform like crazy. Yes. Ardent victory. JC, can we get Tony to watch Megalopolis 3 times? I got a life, JC. Ardent, LOL, now you've just gone too far. William Wallace, They'll chase that money right into the black hole. Do not resuscitate after a certain point. Zevek's demise. You get to play yourself walking Little Joan just like in the books. Yeah, that would be like my lowest tier prize. Otherwise, I'd get to play one of the supporting characters. Just so you know, my first choice is Hemingway. My second choice is Elliot. My third choice, maybe Grandpa James, if I'm really old. But yeah, after that, then it would be like a cameo in book 12. John Adams, were the Hellboy comics any good? Oh yeah, they were good. I like the Hellboy comics. They were a lot like, I mean, they were sort of like, you know, Tales from the Crypt kind of stories. You know, they were all supernatural monster stories, but with one character throughout. He kept it mostly dark. He threw in a little comedy once in a while. Indie Phantom, need a deep dive on Megalopolis and how a man can devote so much time to a screenplay that was not going to work. I found a PDF of an old draft years ago and it was already confounding. Wow. John Adams, Megalopolis was absolute trash. I couldn't finish it, and it takes a lot to get me to walk away from a movie. I watched all of Cats and Battleship Earth. Jesus. You watched all of Cats? Are you okay? Indie Phantom, John, it clearly was. I understand why everybody passed. Razzies will be its legacy. LeMay, she was supposed to have a TV series, but they canceled it for Black Little Mermaid. Oh, okay. Well, that seems stupid. I mean, if you were going to be super corporate, you would obviously greenlight that so you would have some visibility for the character. Alex, is Tony still catching up with the chats? Yes. The picture of Sydney Sweeney with her tongue made me have to step away for a moment. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to the numbers. John Adams, The Princess and the Frog was in New Orleans, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. LeMay, the sad thing about The Princess and the Frog is if it did really well, Disney was going back to 2D animation, but critics trashed the movie before it came out, and the animators were demoralized. Zevek's demise, you'd be a good Elliot. Yeah, I can do the South Jersey accent, because I've lived here. And I did it for Elliot in the audiobook, and it came out really good. Indie Phantom, didn't know Hellboy comics were like Tales from the Crypt, which I do enjoy as an anthology. They're like that in that they are creepy. They're a little bit like the Pineys in that it typically is about some ancient evil that has some legitimate historical thing. So the recent movie, The Crooked Man, I don't think was based on anything in particular. It's just very sort of Southern Gothic, and very sort of classic, and it had the devil. And The Crooked Man is another version of the devil. But like Hellboy did a really cool one with Rasputin. That was kind of cool. And they've done ones with the bad guys from Germany and some of the weird lore around that. And a couple of the monsters. Very demonic stuff. Tales from the Crypt in that it's like an ongoing thing where always something supernatural and weird is happening. It's kind of a very loose analogy. I don't want to get your hopes up too high because Hellboy is the main character and he's in every book. So it's a little lighter than Tales from the Crypt, I'll say, but kind of in that way. I guess a closer analogy might be the X-Files, but only the supernatural stuff with a, supernatural character. Indie Phantom. Didn't know Hellboy comics were like the Tales from the Crypts, which I do enjoy. I read that one. Indie Phantom. Jack Black played the devil as Santa now. Yeah, that's Satan or no, Dear Santa movie. I was shocked to discover that the Chris Farley brothers worked on that movie. So maybe it is funny, although I sort of wrecked it in my trailer review. It looks terrible. I'm sort of sick of Jack Black after his stupid behavior. I feel like he's going to be punished in this upcoming movie. And his future movies, too. I mean, I think he's very stupid for wading into the fray. He could have stayed above it, even after his, Tenacious D partner made that mistake on stage. He could have said, you know what, I'm not going to do political stuff. And then he turns around and it's just a dumb move. I mean, when you're that kind of a celebrity, no. William Wallace, another asshat. Indy Phantom, half the Farley brothers. Oh, half the Farley bros? Oh, I guess the other bro's not there. So I don't know. It doesn't look that funny. It looks like it could have been a fun short movie, but 90 minutes of that? Yeah, I think it would get tiresome really fast. And it's got a weird message, too, because the end of the movie, like, Satan becomes his little buddy who helps him loosen up and become a cool guy. Like, it's weird. That seems to be the message in the movie. So, yeah. I don't think that was the way to go with Jack Black. I think they needed to get a meaner guy to play Satan, and it would have worked better. Like one of those classically, trained Shakespearean actors who could play Satan like crazy, right? Like, I don't know. Who could you get? I mean, Ray Fiennes. He'd be an excellent devil, I'm sure, because he's excellent in everything. And that would have been hilarious. But Jack Black doing it? No. Anyhow, what time is it? All right, it's 9:30, so I got to wrap this thing up. So what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that I'm going to be watching Megalopolis. Hopefully sometime in the next, I don't know, maybe I could watch it on Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Megalopolis. Yeah, I might get to it before Christmas. We learned, Kraven the Hunter was a bad idea. We learned that, doing all this woke crap is really bad for the movie industry. I mean, it's just terrible. You can't do movies like this. I mean, you can. They are. Indy Phantom, we learned that Moana is still a thing. Yeah, now you're going to get a third one of these movies. I mean, there's no reason not to do a third movie now. If there's anyone left in Hollywood to write a script, LeMay, that Hollywood has learned nothing. Yes. They will follow trends down a rat hole. They will follow them until they will squeeze every dollar out. And then when they switch gears, they'll pretend like, oh, that's what we always do. Ardent, today I learned that it might be the internet that revives comedy the way it has revived journalistic ethics. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of funny stuff online. I like Kyle Dunningham's show. I watch his podcast. Ryan Long, he's pretty good. Awakening with JP's, he's got some good sketches every once in a while. I don't watch it as regularly as some of the other stuff. And quite frankly, some people who aren't necessarily professional comedians, sometimes they just come up with a good bit and they do it online and it's pretty funny. There was a sketch group, I think they were a sketch group of guys who did the mafia taking Luigi Mangione's call. So look it up if you can find it on X. It was pretty funny. So it was like the mafia guys saying, "Oh, Luigi, did you complete the assassination?" And like, they just go through all the evidence, how he screwed everything up and how he exposed his face and got caught. Um, it was pretty funny. And then, oh gosh, there was another one. Now I forget it now. Alex, today I learned Haley Atwell needs casting in my suggestions with Sydney Sweeney. Thanks, at Ardent. Yes. Yes, she does. Yeah, I mean, like, how many more beautiful women are going to go to Hollywood to have Hollywood go, okay, the first thing we need to do is get you in a very long coat so nobody can see these boobs. I mean, can we just start casting hot chicks again? Alex, I learned that Tony needs to watch the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, 1063 from 1 hour, 20 minutes. 22 minutes. I guess I do. I guess I'm going to have to gear up to go back on the Lotus Eaters for Christmas, maybe. Maybe that'll be the Christmas present to the Lotus Eaters. I shall return with more crazy stories. Oh, boy. I got to write book 17 and do crazy stories for a month? Ugh. That sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know, man. Oh, man. I'd have to... You know what I need to do? I need to shoot all my Lotus Eaters comments in like 4 days, and then I could do it. That would be the same. That would be the smart thing to do. For me to shoot, like, they're on like almost every day, right? They're not on the weekends, so I'd have to shoot what, 20 of them? Yeah, I got to shoot like all 20 of them at once, and then be done, so I could just rattle them off. Ardent. Oh, I coined a term from what happens to women like Ariana Grande in the movie industry. The Hollywood hollow out. Oh, man. Sorry about the phlegm. That is a good... I like that. I think that's a lot of people and things in Hollywood. That's kind of what they do to the IPs, right? The Hollywood hollow out. They hollow them out, wear them as a skin suit until they drain as much money as possible. I think the real lesson, William Wallace, we need a good original mob movie again. I'll never watch anything with De Niro in it, thanks to his idiocy. Yeah, like, these guys just ruin their own careers by doing that. I'm with you. I don't want to see De Niro in anything anymore. There's so many stars, I don't want to see him now. I see him in a movie, I just go, I don't believe you anymore. You've ruined it for me. I just hear a screeching moron. John Adams. And remember to change your shirt in between shoots. I will. I will. Do you like this shirt? I look like I just got off the holodeck and lost my little like Star Trek thingy. And remember to change your shirt in between shoots. Did I do a video where I had a stain on my shirt? That is likely. That is likely. All right. I got to wrap this up because if I don't get a drink, I'm going to be hoarse for the rest of the night. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was another great stream. I really appreciate it. What's coming up for me? Well, Christmas is coming up. Oh, quick pitch from Ardent. Cavill and Hardy as aging British gangster who comes to the States in the Prohibition era. Oh, I'd like that. I mean, I'm serious. That's a good pitch. that would be fun. Those would be very fun. Sure. Alex Ogle, what does your week ahead look like, Tony? Do you have a busy run up to Christmas? No, I have one event. And that is at the Mistletoe Mart in Hamilton from 5 to 8 on Thursday, the 19th. Ardent, LBR. John Adams, nah, the Lotus Eater stuff looks like it's been done on different days. Oh, yeah, I got to change my... Oh, that's what you meant by changing my shirt. All right, I'll change my shirt. Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, so the Hamilton thing, it will be my last event for probably the year. Because I was so busy in October, I really couldn't book much for December, and but I made so much in October. I should be set for the rest of the year, and then I got the holiday, and then after, and then January. So Yeah, that'll probably be the last one for me unless something falls into my lap at the last minute. But that seems highly unlikely. Um, but if the rain holds off, it's going to be 60 degrees on Thursday, and it's been freezing cold. So you know what that means. It's going to pour. So I don't know. Zebek's Demise. Thanks, Tony. Have a good night. Thank you, Zebek. Thank you all for staying by and tuning in. Wow. I think this is a record number of people. I can't wait to see the number of people who were in this stream. So I'm going to go off and make Piney podcasts, some other videos, and do what I do. So we'll see you. Let's see. Next week. What's next week? It's the 22nd. Oh, I'll have nothing to do. 90% I will have nothing to do. So we'll definitely be doing a stream. And then a week later, I still have nothing to do on the 29th, which isn't even near New Year's. So, yeah. So we should be good to go for the next 2 weeks. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.